Welcome to the Occupational English Test, also known as OET. This training video is on the writing subtest for dentistry. You will be given 40 minutes of writing time. Prior to that, you will be given 5 minutes of reading time. Your word limit ranges from 180 to 200 words. This letter has to be written on the basis of patient's case notes, which will be provided. The total marks is 500 and the grades range from A to E. The topics given are specific to the profession, meaning depending on your profession, your letter will also be of the same type. The criteria and scoring are as follows. The total marks amount to 38. Out of this, you've got 6 major categories and they are: number 1, purpose. You have been allotted 3 marks for purpose. This basically is about what you're writing and how accurately you understand the task given to you. The next one is clarity and conciseness, for which 7 marks are allotted. Here you have to present your ideas and all of the points mentioned in the case notes. Next comes organization and layout, for which you are again given 7 marks. This is how you write the structure of the letter and how you present it. The next is content, for which again you are allotted 7 marks. This basically tests your ability to write necessary information and relevant information. Genre and style is also allotted 7 marks. This basically sees the tone in which you're writing, whether you are using medical jargon while writing to a medical professional or whether you're writing simple language. Basically, your writing should be presented in a way that it reflects the task. Finally, language, which is again allotted 7 marks. This includes grammar, spelling, vocabulary, also capitalization and punctuation. Now, there are 3 types of letters basically. A referral letter. This is written when a patient is sent to another healthcare facility for a different kind of investigation or treatment. Then you have your transfer letter, which is written when a patient is sent to another healthcare facility or department to continue his or her treatment. And discharge letter is written when the patient is leaving your healthcare facility or clinic and will be going home. Before beginning the letter, you must ask yourself these questions. Who is the person I am writing to? What is the condition? Who is the patient? What type of letter is it? Will the reader gauge the situation? Are your requests obvious to find? Are there any other details? Are you following the structure? The best way to do this task is to follow certain strategies. To begin with, you must read the task carefully. This is to be done in order to familiarize yourself with the information. Once you do that, identify the type of letter, identify whom you're writing to, start with who you are in relation to the patient. Make sure you spend 30 seconds looking at the writing task. Relevance is extremely important. There are a lot of things that might be written in your or given in the case notes that might not be relevant. So you have to scan the case notes actively. Follow the POWER method, which basically means to plan, organize, write, edit and review. Identify keywords, phrases and information. Use the note form while making notes. Complete your letter at least 5 minutes earlier and use the 5 minutes to review and edit your letter. When writing, ensure that you use a formal tone. Do not use casual language or phrases. If you're writing to somebody in the medical field, then use medical terminology, but only where relevant. Avoid medical terminology for the layman. Think about your response very carefully. When writing the letter, write in complete sentences and do not use the note form. Now here is a sample structure of the letter. You can refer to this for your practice. This is only one type of letter. So the basic idea here that you have to focus on is the structure. As you can see, at the beginning you have your address, the date, the salutation and the reference to the patient. You begin with stating the purpose here. Then mention the medical history, social background, talk about the current condition. Ensure that you mention what type of letter this is or what type of plan is mentioned. It could be discharge, referral or transfer. Put the conclusion. Put your signature line. Leave a space and put your designation. If your name is given, then do mention your name below the designation. Now let's move on to the next bit. This is a description of the question type. You will be given the task details here. You could also be given a certain format. For example, using the information in the case notes, write a letter of referral to the endodontist Dr. Patrick O'Malley, 17 Longview Road, Newtown. This bit will also consist of the patient's case notes and full medical history. Here are the parts of the letter. The first part will consist of address, salutation, reference. The middle part will consist of introduction, which is also the purpose of the letter, medical history, social background, etc. The end part will consist of further relevant information and conclusion. Let us look at the first part. Here you must understand whom you are writing to and their address. Make sure you write down both correctly. Next, include the date. If there is an appropriate date cited in the case notes, use it. If not, use the current date. This should be followed by dear and the recipient's name. Next, include the patient's name and date of birth or age. Two formats are given here. You could follow either of the two, depending on what is mentioned in your case notes. The middle part, the first bit, purpose of the letter. This is present in the writing task. The purpose of the letter could be mentioned in two ways. Task could be located at the end of the case notes, often includes the type of letter. This could also include the letter's main topic. You can use the following information to derive the purpose. Using the information in the case notes, write a letter of referral to the endodontist Dr. James Carson, 16 Edgerton Road, Old Town. Here are some sample introductory lines. Remember, the introductory sentence should be mentioned. It should contain good words and phrases. You could use the following examples as a reference. The first example states, Ms. Joan has been a patient of mine for the past 5 years and needs further treatment. The second example states, this is to thank you for accepting Mr. John into your care for the treatment of his gums. The middle part is used for expanding the purpose. Here you need to expand the reasons and give details. You can use complex sentences to cover important details. For example, this is for further management and regular care of a tooth as she is conscious about her appearance. There could be more details which can be covered in the last paragraph. These details could include patient interaction, specific activities, treatment, etc. The end part consists of further relevant information and conclusion. Usually the last two paragraphs are covered here. These include the patient's medical history, current medication, general progress. The final paragraph should include information like booking appointment, further monitoring like diet or blood sugar levels. You should end your letter with, please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Make sure you mention the salutation as yours sincerely, leave a line space and then your profession. Mention the name if it is given or else just your profession. Here are some dentistry related vocabulary that you could use in your writing task. You could practice making sentences with it. Here is another set of words. Some common mistakes that people usually make are as follows. 1. Grammatically incomplete sentences. For example, writing, he told to check up instead of he was told to get a checkup done. Or missing out on pronouns like swelling of gums instead of swelling of his or her gums. 3rd, using wrong tenses. Like he have braces since he was 13 years old. Now you're talking about an incident that had occurred in the past and has been there since. Or saying he need regular tooth fillings. The right way to say it would be he has had braces since he was 13 years old, or he will need regular tooth fillings depending on what the course of action is. Now this is your practice 1. As you can see, your instruction is given here followed by the notes. Read the notes and use the strategies discussed above to write your answer. Practice 1 is continued here with further information. As you can see, there are multiple dates mentioned as well. There are further dates and further examinations and treatments mentioned here. Go through them thoroughly. This is your writing task. Read the task carefully, look at the important information given here, and select information from the case notes and write in full sentences. That is the end of this training video. All the best with your practice.